week I've been working on a project for my son. He wants to be a spider for Halloween. So we're going to go ahead and make the rest of the costume kind of with fabric and stuff, basically taking a hoodie and attaching some arms to the side of it. Fairly simple, but I wanted to add some, jazz it up a little bit, of course, so I wanted to 3D print some eyes for it. So this is what I ended up with. Modeled it in Fusion 360. It was pretty easy. I wanted to not use supports, used natural PLA, so it kind of has this clear look to it. I realize spiders have black eyes, but black eyes and a black sweatshirt weren't going to show up all that well. What I did do is make it so we can slide a little LED in the bottom of this with a watch battery. So you may be familiar with those LED like throwies things people show. That has a really dim battery. It uses a 3-volt lithium CR1620 battery there. You can get these at any hardware store. I think the 1620 is a pretty popular one. At least I had some spare ones laying around. And then I 3D printed a base. So this base has little holes in the bottom of it. Thread can go through, so we can stitch it on to the top of his hoodie. And then the cool thing is that this has little notches, and this has a relief here. So you just set it on there, and rotate, and it's affixed. So it makes it easy. There's no switches, there's no wiring. All you need is a 3-volt LED, a watch battery, 2 3D printed parts. Now both of these I used dual extrusion. This you wouldn't have to. I just wanted to print all at once so that the color was affixed in there. But when I upload the models, I'll upload these separately so that you can 3D print them separately and set the second piece inside there and glue it on. This part may or may not need dual extrusion. I wanted to not have to worry about the interior surface in this little groove. I wanted this to be a nice clean flip fit so it wouldn't come off. And I was afraid that if I used breakaway support with this that it wasn't going to break away cleanly like it often doesn't, and there's really no good way to get inside there to sand it. So this was another good opportunity. I used HIPS, high impact polystyrene, for the support material. It dissolves away in that delamine solution, which is basically like an orange extract. Printed it out, dissolve it overnight. This is only like the second time I've used this, and I've had mixed luck with it. In general, it comes out, but it's not always the cleanest. So what I found with I did this, I printed 2 of these obviously. So what I figured out is that if you dissolve it for a couple hours is all it takes, you can kind of pick away a good portion of it. In fact, even when it's before you dissolve it, you can pick as much of it away as you can. Let it soak. You should be able to pick a little bit more out and kind of keep working at it. That tends to end up with a little bit cleaner, and it's a little bit easier than letting it sit for overnight and just trying to pick it all out at the end. Supposedly, if you cut the solution a little bit with rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol, you can it'll flow better into the cracks. I forgot to do it in this case, but it didn't seem to matter too much. It worked. If you had somewhere that had a lot of internal passages, you'd probably want to cut it with that. So let's check this out. I actually made one for myself. I think you're gonna like. This is cool for a kid, but I wanted to make one a little more fun. White and, well, the natural PLA in green wasn't cutting it for me, so I printed this one in red and white ABS, and I had a really clever idea. How about I turn off the ooze shield and I turn off retraction, and maybe I'd get all kinds of ooze on here and it would look like it was really bloodshot. And maybe at the beginning it sort of worked, but as it kind of kept building, it cleaned up a little bit, and man, it's a really clean print for one I was hoping to get a lot of ooze on and make it look bloodshot. It would have looked awesome if it had kept doing that all the way up. I don't know how well you can see it there, but just got a little bit of string there. I guess that's how it works. I got another way I'm going to add some bloodshot to it, just the old-fashioned way. But first off, I'm going to show you how I sew it on there. Just a quick disclaimer, sewing isn't my thing, so we'll see how this goes. First things first, need to get some string, or some thread, and then a needle. In this case, I'm just going to sew it on one of my old t-shirts. So I'm going to try to find the middle here. Try not to unthread my needle because you guys don't want to watch me do that on the video. I think I need an eyeball right in the center of my chest. So I sewed base onto the shirt. Now we need to attach the LED. Pretty simple. Just take a piece of electrical tape. This should last hours, if not longer. Maybe days. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. You really just need to tape the terminals on there. Don't go too crazy with the tape, or it may not fit back in the slot. There we have an LED. Ta-da! Alright, now let's slide it up in there. LED's inserted. Screw it into the socket, and now I have an eye in the middle of my chest. Alright, now these damn birds are left. I'm going to go ahead and add some little features to make it look even cooler. So it looks more like a bloodshot eye. So a little magic with a Sharpie, and it's a little creepier So this will be up on Thingiverse. Check the link below. Be sure to subscribe. I'm pretty happy with this project.